Nature has built our brain like a masterpiece of engineering. It is a machine capable of storing thousands of memories, recognizing faces, and mastering complex languages. Yet, for the first few years of our lives, we carry a complete void. We cannot recall a single visual memory from our own infancy. We are all walking around with a black hole where our earliest years should be. Music. Science calls this infantile amnesia. And just like the myth of the dragon, there isn't one single reason for it. It is a complex puzzle involving our biology, our rapid development, and the very architecture of our brains. The first clue is hidden in the way our brain connects. When we are born, our brain is in a massive growth spurt. New neurons are forming, and connections, called synapses, are being created at lightning speed. But there is a paradox here. The faster we create new connections, the faster our brain prunes, or deletes, old, unused ones. Music. Think of a library where new books arrive so fast that the older ones must be constantly removed to make space. Those memories which might have been stored were likely lost to this neural pruning. Then there is our language system. We often assume we remember in pictures, but research suggests that a huge part of our memory is tied to language. We only truly lock in memories when we can turn them into a narrative, when we can put them into words. Music. In infancy, we simply do not have the language tool set to label an experience and retrieve it later. By the time we learn to speak, we start recording our lives as a story. Everything before that becomes a file without a label, eventually lost to the system. But are those memories truly gone? Here, the theory gets darker and more interesting. Some researchers argue that while we cannot consciously recall them, our bodies still carry the imprint. This is called implicit memory music. You might have noticed how a child reacts to a specific sound or smell that was tied to their early comfort zone. Perhaps those memories are woven into our neural architecture. They are the foundation of our personality, just inaccessible to conscious recall. Just like the dragon, which we stitch together from our deepest fears and ancient predators, our childhood memories are built on an invisible framework. We cannot remember them, but we cannot exist without them. Music. Nature didn't give us the ability to keep those early memories because, for an infant, every moment is brand new. If we remembered every tiny detail, our brains would never have the space to learn new patterns and complex skills. Infantile amnesia isn't a bug, it's a feature. It frees us from the weight of old data so we can learn at warp speed in the present. We try to find that black hole, but perhaps it isn't missing. It is just our brain preparing us for the next step. Music. Nature never built a dragon, and it never allowed us to keep the files of our infancy. In both cases, we had to write our own story, a story where the very first page was left blank forever.